In Gaza, another home damaged by 2 years of relentless Israeli bombardment has collapsed. It is the latest building to come down during the harsh winter storms in the Strip. Civil defence teams rescued 6 members of a family, including 2 children, after the roof of their home caved in Shati refugee camp. Hundreds of thousands of forcibly displaced Palestinians are sheltering in structurally unsafe buildings. Israel is blocking the entry of mobile homes and sustainable shelters from Gaza in violation of the ceasefire it agreed with Hamas in October. Authorities warn at least 500 buildings are at risk of collapse. Khoudary is in Gaza City and has the latest from there.
It's another building, but it's not the only building that collapsed in the past 24 hours. It's the Babish family house. There was also another house for a Skeik family and also a Hello family. And the civil defense teams were able to rescue all of those who were sheltering inside the houses. Now, the question is, why are these houses collapsing and why are Palestinians still inside these houses? First of all, most of these buildings have been bombed by the Israeli forces, partially bombed, so Palestinians chose to shelter inside these houses other than tents, because Palestinians are saying that shelters and plastic sheets are not protecting their families from anything, and that's why they're choosing to shelter inside partially damaged buildings. Now, in the past winter storm, at least 14 houses collapsed, and we're talking about 14 Palestinians who died from the winter storm, but also Palestinians are left with zero options as the Israeli forces continue to restrict and ban all types of shelter items to enter into the Gaza Strip.
Well, let's find out more about this desperate situation. We can speak to Shurouq, who's the Gaza Multimedia Manager for Save the Children, and we're not disclosing her surname for safety reasons. Joins us now from Khan Yunis in Gaza. Shurouq, so we have another storm rolling in after all this chaos and misery that we've been seeing. And of course, as ever, it's the very youngest that are among the most vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. The situation on the ground remains vulnerable, especially for the children. Still, there is no an actual solution for the displaced people who are living in makeshift tents that never withstand the heat or cold, especially at such time of heavy storms hitting the area. Same goes for those people who are still living in a broken infrastructure of what remained of their homes. People are still in desperate need to find, a soiled wall or ground to shelter themselves, and this forced people to live in such a broken structure of their remained homes. And unfortunately, in the past few days, we have seen many houses collapsing because of the storm that caused the killing, and also others have been injured. Within this, there were children. And what we are seeing on the ground, Save the Children has been working in Gaza and across the occupied Palestinian territory for over 70 years. And
Sure, I'll come on to what the Save the Children are doing, but I just want to explore a little more about just how desperate these conditions are, first of all. Because, of course, the people that are living these images, these terrible images that we're seeing, they're living in these conditions because their homes have been destroyed by the Israeli bombardment. To what degree are Israeli restrictions now making things worse? And how can people even cope in spite of all this?
Well, basically, the most important thing here is the critical situation in terms of the aid supplies that enter in Gaza that is not actually providing people with the basic fundamental needs, especially the winterized stuff. There is lack of mattresses, blankets, pillows, winter clothing, and shelters for sure. The issue here that whenever you try to shelter yourself from above, in terms of the makeshift tent, you will never withstand the floods that's coming on the ground because of the broken sanitation system here and the broken infrastructure that is causing the floods of rain rainfall water, and also that is already mixed with the sewage, and this is a very life-threatening thing that we are anticipating more life threats in the upcoming period because of the spreading of diseases that
Sure.
came out of the sewage water.
Yeah, absolutely, dangers at every corner. So NGOs working against the odds. So tell us more about specifically what Save the Children are doing to try and counter these desperate conditions.
Well, we are providing the vulnerable people, especially the children, with many life-saving services here on the ground. And since the beginning of the war, we in Save the Children immediately responded with and we gave hand to the people to support them at such a catastrophic situation. But it's very important to highlight that Save the Children has not been permitted to bring its own supplies into Gaza since March this year, despite this and the restriction of, on critical winter items for the aid committee as a whole, that in the coming weeks, Save the Children plans to distribute let me say, locally procured winter household items and shelter kit, including mattresses, sheets, pillows, blankets, etc. In addition to distributing over 2,000 kits of winter clothing for children. This is very small in comparing with the ocean of needs that people are suffering from here.
Sure.
The situation is way miserable that we can actually picture in photos or in words. I've seen a mother with a 7-month-old girl. She tried to put her girl in a soaked mattress along with a soaked blanket with this daughter that she was dressed very thin summer clothes, and the mother, unfortunately, she cannot afford the high prices of winter clothing in the market recently.
Shurouq, it's an ocean of need, as you so well put it. We'll have to leave it there. Do appreciate your time. That's Shurouq joining us from Save the Children in Khan Yunis in Gaza.
Don't miss out and get full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.